After discussing the United States and the European Union, a new challenge emerges for us, which is the challenge facing developing countries. Now we can feel that there is a challenge for developing countries. Why? Due to strict technical standards and specifications, this poses a significant challenge for developing countries because they lack the infrastructure, modern technologies, proper sampling, and analysis required to produce a strong product that can be exported to other markets. Consequently, it becomes an obstacle to global trade. Therefore, it is necessary to note that this is a source of concern for developing countries. However, at the same time, it is an opportunity for developing countries to start building their infrastructure, improving products and legislation, and thus having the ability to enter other countries with the manufactured products. Please note that the output of strong legislation is a powerful and safe product that can travel to many countries because the legislation from the source country is stricter than the importing countries. Therefore, it represents an opportunity for developing countries. Additionally, they must also determine the necessary costs for compliance and conduct a cost-benefit analysis. The compliance costs must be clear for the country, along with its policy to ultimately achieve global competitiveness. It is crucial to recognize that developing countries face a compliance challenge, which can impact them and their trade if not addressed. Another important point is that if you are operating from a developing or even a non-developing country, it is essential to be aware of the layers of the law, similar to an onion with its various layers, because complex regulatory systems have multiple layers. One should not rush to conclusions but be cautious and well-informed, basing decisions on facts, qualifying your conclusion, verifying, build on facts, a factual approach for decision-making. Additionally, analysis is crucial, and when conducting an analytical scene, one should not hastily conclude but rather refer to the codex and the definitions mentioned earlier. Knowing that laws are internally complex, and that the implementation and enforcement sometimes are different from the law itself, is important. Therefore, understanding the layers of the law is crucial as a reference when making a regulatory overview. Now let's discuss some details of the layers of the law, with the reference being an advanced introduction of Food Law book by Dr. Nael. If you have concerns about a specific topic, you must know its limits and the countries affected by the issue, whether it's an export or import matter, and collect all the needed information and data. Differentiating between hazard and risk is essential. For example, seeing a shark in the water while sitting on the beach is a hazard, but swimming in the water is a risk with various factors to consider. For example, risk claims, marked as hazards, should be mitigated, disclaimed, or modified to alter the risk assessment within food regulation. Several methods can be used for risk assessment, analysis, and management, involving a look at laws and their application. Risk management and communication. Knowing the types of risks and whether they fall under technical regulations that are mandatory in the Gulf region or standard indications is crucial. Also, the language is important for the comparative assessment of different laws and regulations, especially when you are operating in different countries. It's important to note that sometimes compliance is not always obligatory, and the laws are complex internally, with the execution being different from the text. Hence, understanding the layers of the law is vital as a reference for organizational overviews, or if you are facing a concern or regulatory situation and trying to solve it in a good way. In conclusion, in the fourth module, several points need to be considered as 1. Global demand for safe and nutrient-rich food is increasing, making food laws and regulations more critical worldwide. As the world's population grows and consumer awareness increases, there is a rising demand for food that is not only abundant, but also safe and rich in essential nutrients. This places a significant emphasis on the need for robust food laws and regulations globally. 2. Food producers' leaders recognize that compliance with laws is a fundamental part of any organization's success. Leaders in food production are increasingly acknowledging that adherence to laws and regulations is not merely a bureaucratic obligation, but a fundamental aspect of organizational success. It is not only about avoiding legal issues, but also about building trust with consumers and ensuring the quality of products. 3. Recognizing the global importance of food safety, it has been incorporated into the structure for managing global crises. The recognition of food safety as a global concern has led to its integration into crisis management structures. This shift emphasizes the importance of considering food safety not just as a regulatory requirement, but as a key factor in addressing broader global challenges and emergencies. 4. Some individuals view food laws as a financial burden, but these regulations have their essence and provide strategic and competitive advantages for companies. While some view food laws as financial burdens, it's crucial to understand that these regulations are not only safeguards, but also provide strategic advantages for companies. Investments in compliance can lead to enhanced market access, improved brand reputation, and reduced long-term risks. 5. Companies must effectively highlight their compliance with national and international food laws. Companies need to go beyond mere compliance and actively communicate their commitment to adhering to national and international food laws. This communication serves as a form of transparency and can be a competitive advantage, especially in markets where consumers prioritize food safety. 6. Delay in considering food laws can lead to disastrous results, including product recalls, sales withdrawal, or even outbreaks if regulations are not followed. The consequences of delaying considerations of food laws can be severe, ranging from product recalls to reputational damage. Timely compliance not only ensures legal adherence but also helps in preventing potential crises and maintaining consumer trust. 7. Early attention to food laws in developing or modifying any food product is crucial, setting regulatory limits for various company operations. Incorporating considerations of food laws early in the development or modification of any food product is a critical practice. This involves setting regulatory limits for various company operations and can significantly streamline the overall process, avoiding complications later in the production cycle. 8. Early consideration of food laws is vital when exporting to another country due to differences in food regulations between countries. Awareness of the different systems between countries is crucial. Exporting food products requires careful attention to the differences in food regulations between countries. Understanding and adhering to the diverse legal systems ensure a smoother export process, preventing issues related to non-compliance and fostering successful market entry.